Hi folks, and welcome back to Quarantine According to Eddie. It's about 5 to 11 on the 9th of June, and it's nearly my birthday. And so, as a pre-birthday treat yesterday, I took a nice long ride out around Nottinghamshire, and did a big loop of all the places that I enjoy visiting. And it got me thinking because I was out on my Harley Davidson, and it's a big, loud motorcycle, and I'm out there, wearing my patch vest, and people are reacting when they see me, and sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's negative, but people are reacting, and they're obviously making a judgment about what they're seeing. And it made me think, that's really interesting, because they don't know me at all, and yet they're judging me based on what they're seeing. And so I thought, on the basis that there is a lot of judgment going on at the moment anyway, politics, political action, in communities about whether people are maintaining lockdown, that kind of thing, it made me think, we need to investigate the philosophical and ethical validity of making these kind of judgments. So philosophically, making judgments about other people is actually very, very difficult, because it's difficult to get philosophical validity. You're only ever working with partial information. If you're judging anyone else, you are only ever working with partial information. Because if you see someone out on the street and they're passing, you know nothing about the context of that person, you know nothing about their life, you know nothing about why they're doing what they're doing. The closer you get to them, you might know a bit more about them, but you may not know their full motivation. And you can bring it all the way down, even the closest person to you. You cannot prove what their motivation is. They can say what they like, and you may believe them, but they can't be proven to be motivated one way or another. So you are always working with partial information if you cast judgment on another person. But most of the time, you're basing it on very, very little information, and it's often based on stereotypes and assumptions. Stereotypes have got their place. The whole point of a stereotype is essentially its patterns. A stereotype can be a good thing, in that you could see red and white spotted mushrooms and you could stereotype them and go, well, I think that's going to be bad for me, because it probably will be. But stereotypes on people can be quite harmful, and philosophically that's not very valid. So casting judgments on other people, philosophically, not very valid, not very good. And ethically speaking, there are problems as well, because ethically we sort of say, well, is it right or is it wrong for a person to act in a certain way? Again, you don't really know why they're acting in a certain way. What you may observe may not actually match why they are actually doing something. So you may think that someone is blatantly breaking lockdown rules, whereas actually you lack the information to see that they are following the rules, or that they're doing it for a very good reason. They could be breaking the rules for a very good reason. The third level to this is that all that you're getting are facts. When you observe someone, all that you're getting is facts. And this runs into a problem called the is-ought problem, or the fact-value problem. David Hume called it the is-ought problem. And that's the idea that, logically speaking, you cannot put facts together and then draw an ethical conclusion. Let me put it to you this way. Logic requires facts to run into facts and then create more facts. So, for example, Socrates is a man, all men are mortal, therefore Socrates is mortal. Fully logical. All good. But then, if you try to add in moral statements, so Socrates is a man, all men are mortal, therefore it is right for Socrates to die, well, where did you get that moral aspect from? How did you slip that value in? We weren't talking about values before. Fact 1 equals fact 2, fact 2 equals fact 3, fact 1 equals fact 3. Good! Fact 1 equals fact 2, fact 2 equals fact 3, fact equals value. Where's the value come from? So philosophically speaking, making ethical judgments about other people is very, very difficult, and very difficult to justify. So judgments in themselves become very difficult. The only person that you can really judge with suitable evidence is yourself. If you think about it, you know your own motivations better than anyone else. You have the most information. You know your sense of right and wrong. You have your own conscience. So, the only person that you can appropriately judge, really, is yourself. Now, self-judgment has got a whole load of problems to it, in terms of some people are very harsh on themselves, some people misjudge themselves, and some people are very easy on themselves. But I'm talking generally. If you're thinking with good conscience and good rationale, philosophically speaking, the only person you can judge is yourself. But I think this is an important lesson anyway. It's very easy to start pointing fingers and trying to score points and divide people. But actually, something that's very important is to remember that nobody's perfect, and start by looking in the mirror. And rather than judging other people for their perceived actions, really, the only person that you should be judging is you by your known actions. It's one to think about, because it's very tempting to get up on a high horse. It's very tempting to make judgments about people. And don't forget that your lens will be clouded by how your general sort of persona. If you tend to be a negative person, you'll probably think negatively about people's actions. So keep the judgments to yourself. So, a little bit of food for thought over this week. If you've got any comments or questions, please get in touch. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you next time.